more like we the people, but right now I think we're more like we the governed. I really appreciate the opportunity to come here and speak. I'm particularly honored, actually, really, to be here in front of the Farm Boy restaurant. Like several other businesses around the state, people who are actually willing to have the courage to stand up and actually pay a real price for standing up against our state and the ridiculous rules that they're imposing on us. There is one person in the state who's non-essential, and that's Inslee. But he'd like to define the rest of us as non-essential, except those who've given him lots of campaign contributions. Those people are pretty essential too. And this is really the situation that we find ourselves in, that we have to stand up and push back. Now, how many of you know that fear is contagious? Yeah. Right? And if you don't, you haven't been paying attention lately. We have fear mongers in our government who are ensuring that the politics of fear is as contagious as possible. And if you want to see fear in action, go up to Seattle. Yeah. But also, courage is contagious too. It is.
That's right.
And I always end every video and article that I write on We the Govern, and I always end it with this statement that the future belongs to those who show up. And that is true. And it has always been true. Courage is contagious. You have to be able to willing to stand up. And people like John here with the Farm Boy, or down at Spiffy's, or at Stuffy's, or any of these other restaurants, or people standing up for their freedom and their rights, because somebody has to be that point person, and we have to be willing to stand behind them and support them. Now, many of us are here, and this is a political statement to be here. It is. But it's more than a political statement. It's a statement of community. We are here supporting our community and our community members. Someone like Inslee doesn't care about us at all. I mean, he really doesn't. And if you don't believe me, just pay attention to what he's doing. There's been these photos that have been circulating on the internet lately about when he does his press conferences, and he's telling you to wear masks. But frequently you'll see his staff just out of the camera view, and they aren't wearing masks at all. I mean, if Illinois was actually enforcing the rules the same way to everybody, Inslee would be getting $10,000 a day fines himself. But of course, that's not exactly what's happening. Now, unfortunately, what we really find ourselves standing up for, freedom and liberty, which are words that all of us care about and mean something to us, but it doesn't always mean the same thing to everybody, but it should. But that's what we're standing for. And equality, equal protection under the law. How many of you think that Inslee's cronies get treated the same way you and I do? Especially in Thurston County. Thurston County Superior Court is the court where the Constitution goes to die. Every one of those judges, good percentage of them are actually former Attorney General employees. They used to work for the government. Their deference to the state is almost unlimited. It's a very difficult place to have, and most of them, I don't believe, really know what the state constitution is. And all you see them make decisions on is, what does the state want me to decide as a judge? And that's what they do. And when those judges don't do that, their political career is over. That's the message that they get. I mean, this is not a good situation right now. So it is very brave, and it's of people to actually be willing to go to court and fight this out, knowing that the odds are stacked against us, but we have to go fight. I think that to some extent, Governor Inslee is shocked at how docile the population has been. I don't know about you, but they are. I think they are. I'm shocked how much we've been willing to put up with. Remember 2 weeks, right? I mean, and now here we are, 10 months later, right? It just doesn't end. And now Inslee's just trying to find a way to make sure it lasts longer and longer. And, and I think it's important to remember, there is a mountain of corruption in government, but it is concealed by an ocean of incompetence. And the disease that plagues us today is the staph infection of the government bureaucracy. And it spreads, and it is contagious. And no matter how incompetent government is, nobody's ever held accountable. All these people, one of the things that they mentioned at numerous businesses around the state, their employees were trying to get on unemployment. But Governor Inslee appointed Susie Levine, a big campaign bundler of his, to run the Employment Security Department. She was a former campaign bundler for the Obama administration, a former ambassador, and completely incompetent when it came to running a government agency. And she decided to send $600 million, at least, we don't really know how much, to an overseas Nigerian fraud scheme instead of to people who are actually unemployed in the state of Washington. And when that finally came out and they were exposed, you know, that is actually incompetence, by the way. Even for government, you know, that's actually incompetence.